Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Today I'm taking a break in the Let's Play series to make a video on everything you need to know about the console release of Wizard101, which is coming tomorrow as of uploading this. Yes, October 9th, 2025, it is dropping on console. Now, KingsIsle dropped this handy dandy FAQ kind of section for everything that you really need to know. I imagine that quite a few people just didn't even click on it. They just saw the announcement of it coming and just moved on with their life. So I thought I would bring you a video on it, and in the coming weeks I'm probably going to upload a few videos on like potentially things you need to know about like starting out, because you know you either might not remember everything, or there might be new players coming in, or you haven't played in a very long time and you need to know more about the game. Anyways, I digress. I'm probably going to be making a few more videos in the upcoming weeks about all of this. It's probably going to put some of my Let's Play on hold, but I'm not going to end it, obviously, because I love actually what I'm doing. I really enjoy it, and if you haven't watched the videos of the Let's Play, go give them a watch. You know, I feel like they're really good sleep content, which I usually tend to listen to videos as I'm going to sleep. I imagine they're pretty good for that, but I digress. Anyways, let's get on with the video and the console release FAQ. So first off, the Fated Spirals in your hands, Wizard101 will be coming to consoles on October 9th, 2025, which is tomorrow. Ravenwood alumni and new players alike will get ready to start their magical adventure on Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Wizard101 will launch on Nintendo Switch at a later date, so Nintendo Switch is not getting it right away. You have to wait a little bit longer. Honestly, I assumed that was going to be the case because, let's be honest, working with Nintendo is probably not as easy as working with Sony or Microsoft. So first off, what consoles can I play on? Supported console platforms will include Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and eventually Nintendo Switch. So if you still own a very old console like PlayStation 4 or Xbox One that came out about 12 to 13 years now, you can actually still play the game. So to any of you who haven't upgraded to a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, which I imagine is actually a lot of you, you can actually still play console version of Wizard101. When will it release? Wizard101 will release on Xbox and PlayStation consoles on Thursday, October 9th, 2025. Wizard101 will also release on Nintendo Switch, however the release date for that platform will be announced at a later date. I assume it's probably not going to be like in the distant future. I assume it's more going to be within the next coming months. Like I would guess probably still 2025, maybe even early 2026, but I don't think it's going to be like in the distant future. How can I make a console account? Console accounts can be created by accessing Wizard101 on the console you intend to play on once the game releases. Please do not create an account on our website, Wizard101.com, if you wish to play on console. Accounts created on our website can only access our games from PC. So what this means is you can't kind of access the account from the PC. So if you had that in mind, or you wanted to link it with a family account, you cannot do that. Can I log into Wizard101.com with my console account? No, console accounts do not have usernames or passwords on our website, so they cannot be logged into on our website. You can log into your account on your respective console device type only. So what this means is it is using your information from the Xbox or the PlayStation, so your PSN account or your Xbox Live account, it is using that, which means it has nothing to do with Wizard101.com. So realistically, there's not going to be like a signing into Wizard101 like there is on the PC. You can't access it from the website, or there's no launcher. It's just purely through signing into your account on the Xbox or PlayStation. Is it crossplay with PC? And this is a big one because I imagine most people have been asking this, but we already knew the answer. Well, all console players will be able to crossplay with each other, no matter the console platform you play on. There will be no crossplay between console players and PC. Now, I've mentioned this in the past video talking about the console version of Wizard101, but no console to PC crossplay means that everyone is starting from scratch, literally everyone, which is honestly kind of cool. It's going to be interesting. It's going to kind of suck because a lot of players, you know, obviously really like the idea of, you know, coming in to console with all of their gear and their pet and whatnot. But I think it's really interesting because it is going to feel like Wizard101 back in like 2008 for at least a few weeks to a month, because everyone is going to be at the very beginning of the game. They're going to have no gear. I'm talking no pets at all. Like all the pets you see nowadays in the hatching kiosk with all the really good stats and the really good talents and whatnot, those don't exist yet. everyone is going to be at square one at the very beginning of the game. So I think it's interesting, but it means that you can play with other people on different consoles. So if your friend owns a PlayStation and you own an Xbox, you can still play with each other, which I think is pretty cool. Can I transfer my PC character to console? All PC accounts will remain separate from console accounts, therefore characters will not be able to be transferred over. So again, everyone is starting purely from scratch. Can I make a purchase on the Wizard101 website and have the purchase transferred to my console account? No, purchases made on our website will only be applied to PC accounts. Purchases made for PC accounts cannot be transferred to console accounts. Can I play on the same console account on different devices? Now this is a big one for some people. It depends. If you create an account with a particular console and intend to use a different console from the same company, you will be able to use the same account as long as the console is supported. For example, if you make your account via the Xbox One, you can play on the same account on an Xbox Series X/S as long as you were using the same Xbox account. However, you cannot play with an existing console account if you did not create the account on that particular platform. For example, you cannot play on the Nintendo Switch with an account you made on a PlayStation device. So to simplify that just basically means if you have an Xbox and you're using an Xbox Live, that account on that particular Xbox Live will be for every Xbox that you sign into with that account. Same with PlayStation. And that means that, for some reason, like say you have a PS4 right now and you're like a month down the line, you're like, I want a PS5 now. That means that if you sign in with the same account, your account will still be there. You're not going to lose your progress. Basically, it's all just an account-wide thing rather than a specific device thing. So you're not going to lose your account, if you want to sign on a different device. Are all the consoles on the same server? Yes, in addition, each console has the option to disable crossplay, which would mean you would only play with other players on that particular console platform. That's interesting. For some reason, I never even read that up until now. Basically, if for some reason you hate people from the PlayStation Network, you can disable crossplay, which is interesting. I don't know how that works. I don't know if it'll be like its own separate server and no one would be on that server, because I imagine most people aren't going to disable crossplay, or if the other players will just disappear and you can't see them but they can see you, which I would imagine is not how that works, because that would be even weirder. But I don't know, that's interesting. This is probably the biggest one. Most people probably have this question, and if you have ever questioned it, listen up right now. Will membership be tied into Xbox Live / PlayStation Plus, etc.? No, membership can only be obtained through the 1 month and 6 month membership elixirs found in the Crownshop. In addition, please note that the membership bought on PC will not be able to be transferred to a console account. So this is big because I imagine a lot of people wondered, am I going to be able to use Xbox Live / PS Plus to actually sign in, or will I need to do that? How does that work? You do not need Xbox Live. You do not need PS Plus. The membership is purely tied to the membership elixir. Now, I signed in the other day on my account on the Xbox, which I just pointed to my Xbox. You can't see it, but it's right here. The elixirs have been adjusted so that their price is equivalent to what it would be on the PC. So if you didn't know, on the PC, the membership elixir costs 8,000 crowns. And I was a bit concerned because 8,000 crowns ends up being like 20 bucks rather than, the 10 bucks that membership usually would take. But they did adjust it, so it's only 5,000 crowns on the console. So it is a bit different than on PC. On PC, you buy a membership on their online website and it renews monthly. On the console version of the game, it is purely tied to the elixir. I assume that they did this just as a way to simplify it, because I imagine that if they did make it a service, it would need to be tied to Xbox Live / PS Plus, and they realized that most people probably wouldn't enjoy that. Like, they wouldn't enjoy having to spend an extra $10 a month on top of the $10 a month for membership. So I'm going to assume that that's what that is tied to, and this is actually pretty decent news for us, because I was really scared I was gonna have to pay $20 a month for Console Wiz, but I don't have to. It's only 10. It's the same as PC, which is good. Will we be able to have text chat / open chat? For now, the menu chat is the only available in-game chatting option. We encourage those who wish to chat with their friends more freely to use third-party voice chat apps such as Discord while playing. Please note that KingsIsle is not affiliated with and is not responsible for anything said through these third-party voice chat apps during your gameplay. Use them at your discretion. So basically what this means is that text chat's not going to really be a thing, which again makes a little bit of sense because it is going to be absolutely horrible to type with text chat. They do say you can use voice chats such as Discord, because you can use Discord on PlayStation or Xbox. I'm not sure if Xbox One and PS4 have Discord like PS5 and Xbox Series S do, but I assume they do. So basically, if you want to chat with your friends, you're going to have to set that up yourself rather than actually using text chat, which I will say I don't really know how that works. I would assume that since you can see other people's in-game names in the game, you would have to just add them to your friends, and if they listen, if they add you back, you can add them to a party or whatever, and that's how doing dungeons will work, which means antisocial people, be wary, because people might add you to parties in dungeons, which I think is funny, but we'll see how that goes. I'm not entirely sure yet. Are Wizard101 gift certificates going to work on console? No. Moving forward, gift certificates and any other codes redeemable on our website will be redeemable to computer players only unless otherwise noted. This includes codes all promotional game events like holidays, birthdays, live stream, gift certificates, and prepaid cards. So what that means is certain bundles are not going to be on console edition, at least right away. I would assume what they're going to be doing for this is they're going to be adding all things like that to the Crownshop so you can buy them through there, but it's not going to be through codes. So I don't know why this one came to mind, but the Fantastic Voyager Gauntlet, you are not going to be able to just buy that through like GameStop or whatever, like you used to be able to get the code and redeem it on console. You're going to have to wait for that to come to the Crownshop and buy it through there. I assume that this probably has something to do with how they set up console, and it has something to do with, how the accounts are tied to Microsoft or Sony rather than, on their website. But the point is, a lot of stuff like that, or even live stream codes that, give you packs or whatever, or holiday codes, you're not going to be able to use on console edition. Where are all the items in the Crownshop I'm used to seeing on PC? The Crownshop for PC and the Crownshop for console will operate independently. Things you see in one may not appear in the other. Rest assured that while the console Crownshop may start small, we plan to ramp it up and expand it in the future. Glad to know that you're bringing gambling to kids on a whole new generation of consoles rather than just PC. I love gambling for kids. We love that. Basically, what this is saying is kind of continuing off of what I last said. Most bundles and stuff like that, I imagine, are going to come to console through the Crownshop rather than through codes and, stuff like GameStop or whatever. It's going to be through the Crownshop, and obviously that's why they said it will operate independently, because on PC you're not seeing stuff like full bundles in the Crownshop. So we'll have to wait and see how big that Crownshop that they plan on gets in the future. Can I gift my friends? Yes, however, you can only gift people on the same console as you due to regulations from each console platform. So that's interesting. Basically, for some reason, if you're playing on Xbox and you are playing with someone on PlayStation, you can't gift them things, which is weird. But again, I imagine it has to do with some kind of weird legal mumbo jumbo from Xbox and Sony. Probably not KingsIsle's fault. And I will say, keep in mind that a lot of the regulations that go on for this are probably not going to be KingsIsle's fault. Like things like it not being tied to their website and it being tied to console realistically probably has to do more with Sony and Microsoft and potentially even Nintendo in the future rather than actually KingsIsle, because I imagine it's going to be, a little bit hard to work around them and, work for all of them. I'm even kind of surprised that they managed to get it working as well as it did. Now that's it for today, basically. That's the FAQ and everything you need to know before going into the console edition. Again, it comes out tomorrow. So if you didn't know that, or you didn't it didn't occur to you, it's tomorrow, it is tomorrow. So get your console out, dust off that controller, and get ready to play Wizard101. I imagine day one is going to be popping. So like this first 2-week period is when you're going to want to play, because everyone is going to be playing, and that's going to be really, really fun. It's going to be so fun to see everyone playing on console again and playing Wiz again. Like imagine back in the day, back when you played Malastare and there were, tens of 20s of people in every realm waiting at Malastare to do Malastare. That's going to be so fun to be back to that again for at least a little while. And I imagine it's going to be like that for at least a few months, because let's be honest, getting to 170 is not easy. It's going to take a while, and especially to a lot of people, that are now adults playing Wizard101, we have jobs, we have lives. We can't afford to play 20 hours a day, and so it's going to be a long time before we all get to 170, before we all get to maxed out like we are on PC. So keep that in mind. It's going to be a fun experience. Again, in the coming weeks, I'm going to make some videos on different things like, what gear sets to farm on console Wiz, deck setups, maybe even like stuff like that, old videos that I've made but potentially can remake better for console and that will be helpful to people on console, I'm going to make in the coming weeks. So that's it for today. Make sure if you like this video to drop a like, hit the sub button, and if you want to, you can join and become a channel member if you want to support me. If not, that's fine too. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a fantastic day.